Welcome to Green is Good today, and we're so excited and proud to have our good friend on with us back at Green is Good, Marty Metro, the founder and CEO of UsedCardboardBoxes.com. Welcome back to Green is Good, Marty Metro.
Hey, John, thanks for having me.
Hey, you know, Marty, you are one of these great ecopreneur, entrepreneurially stories where you started something, you had a dream, and you made this great company, UsedCardboardBoxes.com, a massive success. But before we get into that, I want you to share your journey leading up to it, because you've been so brutally frank. And for our listeners who didn't have the benefit of hearing you the last time you were on our show, or hearing you do some of your great public speaking, I want you to share your journey, because some entrepreneurs think they have to go into business and it's got to be perfect and it's going to work out right just the first time. You share your great journey of how you got to this place today.
Well, be happy to. I don't know if I would call it a great journey. It was a miserable journey. When I, back in 2002, it's funny, I mentioned to somebody, actually one of our teammates at UCB, I was talking the other day about the dot-com crash. Yeah. And I realized him being just a few years out of college didn't even know what the dot-com crash was. So I won't go into that. But after the big dot-com explosion and then crash, where just lots of companies were going out of business and filing for bankruptcy back in the late 1990s, I was the senior vice president of a big consulting firm, and I was traveling around the world and implementing software at big companies and making lots of money and spending lots of money on fancy dinners and fancy events. And companies started going out of business right. And I was, our company filed for bankruptcy, and I was left without a job. And I looked back at what I had been doing, flying around first class around the world and building software systems, and I looked at what I had to show for it, and the answer was I really had nothing to show for it. I was riding the wave, but really not creating any value for myself, and probably more importantly, wasn't creating any value for anyone around me. And I decided to do something a little bit more valuable and something that I guess I could put on my tombstone, and came up with the concept of reusing cardboard boxes. What I thought we were going to do is just go around to residential houses and pick up the moving boxes that people just moved in with, and provide a service to allow other people to buy the used boxes that people just unpacked. Wow. And that was back in 2002. It was a good idea, and it was a very, very, very difficult operation to run, because, as my father said back in 2002, you've got to sell a lot of used cardboard boxes to ever pay your rent. And he was absolutely right.
That's good advice from Pops.
Yeah, it was pretty tough when we started, because I was running around with a delivery van and employees in a warehouse, and we were making a few $1,000s and spending tens of and $20,000 in expenses. So you don't have to be a mathematician to know that doesn't last very long.
And Marty, we're here today. It's 2013. I've known you for years, and I've known your struggle and your climb up the hill. But now I'm on your website, and, listen, we've used your service. Our company's used your service. We love what you do. For our listeners out there to follow along, go to Marty's great site. It's UsedCardboardBoxes.com. I'm on the site now. It's gorgeous. It's interactive. It's easy to access in terms of phone number and internet ordering. And also there's a counter, like right on the top. It shows you how many trees. Today, for instance, 496,624 trees have been saved because of Marty's great company. So talk a little bit about the journey, where you are today from 2002 to 2013, and where your goals are in the future here. Like, where are you going to go? But let's start with now where you are.
Okay, well, so in 2005, we decided this system just isn't working. We can't afford to drive a van around and pick up boxes and try and sell them to other people. But at the same time, we were realizing if we wanted to do this, we had to go big. And I forgot who coined the phrase "go big or go home," but that's kind of what we realized in 2006. It's
Right.
go big or go home. So we went out and raised some capital, a small amount of capital, it was about $300,000, to test what it would be like if we, instead of buying a small van load of boxes, what if we started buying and selling tractor trailer loads? And we realized that, yes, John, you or I, if we were to sell our house or move into another house, sure, we could absolutely utilize 100 or 150 used boxes. But big companies as well as Walmart can utilize hundreds and thousands of used boxes. So we started to set our goals a lot bigger. We started to build technology and branding to become the national marketplace of used boxes, not just for people, but for big companies. So today, 2013, I just got the chill saying that. 2013, we are, I would say, the largest marketplace of used boxes in the country. We buy from Fortune 500 manufacturers all over the country, the big companies that make our food and our beverages and our toiletries. As they unpack their supplies, if you think about it, water bottle companies process a lot of water, but they generally don't make their bottles and they make their caps. So all those bottles and caps come in every single day in cardboard boxes and usually just get recycled. We buy those boxes, inspect them, palletize them, and sell them to other companies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you think about it, a traditional recycling company will take cardboard boxes and crush them.
Yeah.
We come in and don't crush the boxes. We preserve the boxes as boxes. And because we do that, we can buy them for more because we can sell them for less than the cost of a new box.
Perfect. So let's talk about that now. Let's give our listeners business and also just the mom or dad at their house now that want to move. Let's give them how this really works, or the business owner that wants to use your great boxes and not go buy new boxes. And again, preserve the precious resources we have on this planet. And that's what you're doing. I mean, I love this Tree Save thing because this is really what, where the rubber hits the road, where your company's doing not only the greater good, not only have you created jobs, Marty, in this wonderful company. And again, for our listeners who just joined us, we're on with Marty Metro, the founder and CEO of UsedCardboardBoxes.com. He's a longtime friend of mine. He's also an associate that our companies work with, so we could attest to the greatness of his service and of his products. And go on his website right now because it is just truly amazing. But 496,000 trees. I mean, come on. You go to bed every night and you feel great about what you're doing.
Yeah, I really do, and I apologize. In Baltimore, and it looks like a plane is flying over my head from BWI Airport. But we put a counter on there because we did some research and realized that it takes about 17 trees to produce a ton of cardboard boxes. And you realize that these big companies, and I don't blame the business they're in and the business they've been in for years. Nobody told these big companies that 100 years ago that you shouldn't be cutting down trees.
Right.
They thought it was a natural resource.
Right.
However, times have changed, and we realized that, we don't need to be cutting down more trees just to make boxes. Why don't we just use the boxes that we already have? So what we've done is created a system to not only reuse the boxes that we already have on this world, on this earth, but to count them and track them and allow big companies as large as Walmart to be able to count their reuse, because a lot of these big companies are tracking their waste, their recycling, and their reuse.
Right.
So they're able to provide reports to their companies. It used to be, I have one thing, it's waste.
Right.
And I throw X amount of tons of stuff into this bin, and it's my waste. And the only way they got to track it is however much the waste company told them they were throwing out. Now you want to track your waste and, of course, minimize that because it's going to the landfill.
Right.
You want to track your recycling because that's what can be broken down and created into a new product. You want to track your reuse because that's avoiding both of those things. And
reuse is a very legitimate form of recycling.
Absolutely.
So
I don't even call it a form of recycling.
Right.
I call it before they even get to recycling. Just like in your business.
Right.
John, you guys do an amazing job at taking apart components that most people would just want to throw in the garbage.
Right.
Your company takes it apart and puts it in the right place. However, if I've got a computer that, if I've got a 17-inch monitor and I want to buy a 19-inch monitor, I shouldn't take the 17-inch and just give it to a recycler.
Right.
I should take the 17-inch and give it to a student or someone else that can buy it first.
That's exactly
Then once it's not working and it doesn't provide value, then it can be broken apart and given to someone else.
So now I'm on your site, and I want to talk about the practicality and the amazing and simple solution, because the other essence of being a great entrepreneur and ecopreneur is creating something that's easy for people to use, and that's what you've done, Marty. And let's walk our listeners through this a little bit. So first of all, if a listener out there, business or homeowner or someone who was going to move or something of that nature, wants to use your service, explain how easy it is online, either through your phone number or through your online service to get your boxes and then to move with your boxes.
Great. It's really simple. If you're a consumer and you're moving, or you're a small business and you just need moving boxes, it's really simple. You go to the website, usecardboardboxes.com. You click on how many bedrooms or how many offices you need. It gives you some examples of moving kits that would fit that size. You click on the kit that works for you. You can add other things if you need extra boxes because you're a pack rat, we like to call them. Order them, you put your credit card right in, and because we've got 7 distribution centers across the country, all our moving kits are delivered free shipping within 2 business days. If you're in a major city like Los Angeles or even New York, your moving kit's going to be delivered next day for free.
Wow.
That's a really simple system. You can always call our 800 number, 888-BOXES-88, and someone can help you place your order. But we process hundreds and thousands of orders with just people going onto the website, clicking what they need, seeing the pictures, putting their credit card in, and boom, the boxes are there the next day, free shipping.
So this is, So this is sort of just like the ease of using your service is like an Amazon.com transaction. People can sit in their home, in their comfort of their home or in the comfort of their business, click, call if they want, and it shows up within a day or two to their office or their home.
Right. We get customer satisfaction surveys, and we post a lot of them on our website. And it's amazing, being a used box company, we get a lot of comments that say, oh, my God, I had no idea these were used. They're so great. But the real bulk of the comments are, I don't know how you did it, but I ordered them yesterday, and they're here today. Wow. I could never do that anywhere else, and that's because we have this national footprint with 7 distribution centers across the country.
That is so great. Now, here's the fun part about what I love about what you do and how you've closed the loop, and I want our listeners to hear this part. Talk a little bit about, okay, now I'm Joe Consumer or I'm Joe Business Owner. I move, I use your great boxes to move, and now I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a room full of boxes, which happens to everybody in this great country who goes through the moving process, and we all do, and we all move more than ever before. We found that out statistically. That's been proven. So now you're sitting there looking at a room full of boxes. Tell our listeners, Marty, why now you're the solution again.
Well, I wish that is one of the hardest parts of our business, really, of any business.
Right.
I wish we had a better solution.
Right.
But if you're a business, what we will do is actually come out and pick up those boxes again by the truckload. If you're a consumer, it's very difficult and very expensive to send a truck out to pick up these boxes. So what we do is we created a self-service website called freecardboardboxes.com.
This is amazing.
And you can take your boxes that you've purchased from us, and you can go back online and you can post, and we will, there's no guarantee because there's people all over the country, but we will then use our system, freecardboardboxes, that match you up with somebody in your local area that could also use boxes. And because they've already been used, because they haven't been quality controlled by UCB, they've been used by another person, we don't recommend there's any charge. We recommend you pay it forward, pass it on to somebody else. Usually there's only a few boxes. There's not an entire kit that can be reused. So we put them on freecardboardboxes.com and you put it forward to somebody else.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, you have created the perfect eco closed loop solution here, the mousetrap, and that's just amazing. So not only can you buy used cardboard boxes from Marty Metro and his great company, and again, for our listeners who just tuned in, usecardboardboxes.com. But then once you're done using them, if it's a business, Marty's company will come pick it up and recycle those boxes. And if not, you go to his other website, freecardboardboxes.com, and it will give you a solution how to pay it forward and get rid of them in an eco-friendly way and let someone else reuse the boxes. Amazing. Marty, I want to also, because we have about 4 minutes left, and you are so inspiring to so many people. I've heard you publicly speak before, and for our listeners out there that are interested in having Marty come to their school, their business, or some other forum and have him speak, you could go to www.martymetro.com. Let's do the last 4 minutes and share to our young listeners, because now that we're on SiriusXM across the United States and then once uploaded to the iTunes network across the world, Marty, we have so many young students who want to be the next Marty Metro, who want to be the next ecopreneur, and they want to learn from your wisdom. Share your advice and your wisdom a little bit to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps, who wants to create a business model that can make money but also change the world.
Well, I don't want to be too cliche, but I'll say the two things that I look back in my 10 years of struggling to finally build a company that works. Number one is don't underestimate the value of a plan. You have to have a plan. There are so many stories out there like Facebook and all these other companies that have skyrocketed. And everyone says, well, I'm going to build the next Facebook. Well, you have to remember 9 out of 10 companies fail. And you don't hear the stories of the failure. You hear the 1 or 2 successes, just like celebrities in Hollywood. Millions of people go out to Hollywood to become a celebrity, and only a handful become. So you have to have a plan. You have to track what you're doing and where you're going. You have to track how much money you're spending, and really have to modify every single month. You have to realize how far away or how close you are to your original plan and how you have to change to stay alive. That would be, I would say, number one, because realize the chances are you will fail. So don't just take an idea and throw all your money at it. Take an idea knowing that the odds are against you, so you really have to think it through and plan and execute strategically.
Good advice. That is great advice. What in terms of what changes do you think this green sustainability or green revolution is going to go through, and what business models or what business enterprise? If you weren't doing this, Marty, which is, I know, a full-time job, you're always on the road. You and I are always crossing cities and stuff like that, and catching up via text, email, or cell phone. Where do you think, not where the hockey puck is today, but where's it going for the young folks out there that want to get involved with a green business and do something that really makes a difference?
Well, I think, where it's going with our business is not just selling a used item. There's a lot of used companies that sell used items, but the big part of our business, the big part of our growth and future is closed loop tracking of reuse. So what we do with big companies, we will set up systems to track the reuse between big companies and their vendors. So when a vendor sends product to their customer, we can then buy those boxes and return them to the vendor and track and count how many times they are being reused. So I don't think it's just reuse. It's building products that are designed to be reused multiple times and tracking how often and how many times it can be reused, and building continuous improvement programs. So if you reused it once this year, we want to reuse it twice next year. And if you reused it 20 times this year, we'll use it 30 times next year. So you can't just build a product that can be reused. You have to actually make sure it's being reused and track it and prove it and improve upon it.
Perfect. Marty, we're going to have you back on again. Today's been great as usual. We thank you for coming back on. Green is Good. For our listeners out there that want to use Marty's boxes, and I really hope you all do, please go to www.usecardboardboxes.com or www.martymetro.com. Marty Metro, you are a sustainability rock star, a good friend of mine, and truly living proof that green is good.